Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Thursday, May 12, 2022. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. International operators exploring 3 large-scale gold mines in Guyana. Guyana restarts manganese export for first time in over 5 decades. Mohamed's enterprise establishing stone depot, shore-based facility at Providence. Rice farmer killed in 3-vehicle collision at MAHAICONY. And Berbice Fire Department urges end to prank calls, warns of legal consequences. Now for the news in detail. Guyana's gold industry will be significantly boosted with the potential establishment of 3 large-scale operations here, following interest currently being expressed by some major international players. According to Senior Minister with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, these developments would create scores of jobs and business opportunities for Guyanese. Vanu Manichand has our lead story tonight.
Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh made this announcement on Thursday while addressing the annual general meeting of the Private Sector Commission, which is also celebrating 30 years since its establishment. Dr. Singh noted that these promising gold developments would all be bigger than OMA's operations in Guyana.
Multiple international companies are actively engaged at various stages of development of world-class large-scale gold mining operations in at least 3 very promising developments across Guyana that could see gold mines, each of which will be bigger than OMI gold mines. And those of you who know OMI would know how significant that is. And right now, and these are international investors. Some of them are quoted on international stock exchanges around the world. They're raising capital in the international markets, all to finance large-scale gold mining in Guyana.
According to the finance minister, these potential gold mines would have a ripple effect on the country, bringing benefits to scores of persons.
Contemplate for a moment 3 large-scale developments, each of which is larger than OMI. Consider for a moment that each one of these will probably be employing more than 1,000 Guyanese persons. Consider the food and other supplies that they will need, the transport services, the construction services, the equipment supply and maintenance services, and all of the multiplier benefits that 3 large-scale gold mining operations will generate in Guyana.
Canada-based OMI Gold Mines is currently the largest operator in Guyana with its Region 7 operations, which has a reserve of some 3.7 million ounces of gold. After leaving its Guyana operations in 2015, the company only resumed gold mining activities here back in 2020 with a US $12 million investment in the Guyana-Mazaruni region. Since then, the company has made several significant gold finds. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manichand.
For the first time in 54 years, Guyana is preparing to export manganese, a hard, brittle, silvery metal often found in minerals in combination with iron. Here is Vanu Manichand again with the details.
Guyana, I believe this very week, will resume exports of manganese for the first time in 60 years, if I'm not mistaken. 54, Norman corrects me. Right now, as we speak, vessels are being loaded in the northwest of Guyana with Guyana's first shipment of manganese in 54 years.
That was Senior Minister with responsibility for finance Dr. Ashni Singh delivering the feature address during the Private Sector Commission's annual general meeting on Thursday. A manganese operation in Matthews Ridge Region 1 was granted its environmental permit and mining license along with the approval of the mine plan. The project investment is pegged at US $75 million and the annual production and shipment of manganese ore concentrates is targeted at 500,000 metric tons annually. The Guyana Manganese Incorporated, GMI, a Bauxite Mineral Group company, started extracting the mineral early last year. GMI purchased 4 prospecting licenses that covers an area of 45,729 acres, exploration results, mineral agreement, certain properties, and infrastructure from RMI of Canada in November 2016. The total manganese resource in Matthews Ridge is some 26 million tons. To produce the manganese concentrate, the company will have to mine some 2 million tons per year, which will see the life of the operation lasting some 12 to 13 years. Manganese is used to make clear glass, to desulfurize and deoxidize steel in steel production, and to reduce the octane rating in gasoline. It is also used as a black-brown pigment in paint and as filler in dry cell batteries. Its alloys help stiffen the aluminum in soft drink cans. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
Mohamed's enterprise is currently developing a facility at a prime waterfront property in Providence, East Bank Demerara, to support its quarry operations as well as the oil and gas sector. Find out more in this Bisham Mohamed report.
The 25-acre property at Providence, East Bank Demerara will be transformed into a stone depot and shore-based facility. Director at Mohamed's enterprise Azruddin Mohamed on Wednesday visited the site to inspect ongoing works at the prime riverfront location. In a post of the company's Facebook page, it was noted that the stone depot will primarily cater for the quarry operations at Mazruni Region 7 when it commences. Only last month, Hadis World Incorporated, a subsidiary of Mohamed's enterprise, partnered with China Harbor Engineering Company Guyana Incorporated to pursue the $25 million quarry project to cater to the needs of the country's booming construction sector. The long-term agreement will see the establishment of the quarry along the Mazruni River, where the Chinese company will produce boulders and quarry aggregates for local and foreign construction markets. Meanwhile, this facility that will be established at Providence will be in close proximity to the new Demerara Harbour Bridge and will be leased out to the contractor during the construction stages. The development of this property comes some 8 years after the land was embroiled in a legal battle with Tulsi Prasad Limited, which Mohamed's enterprise won. Bisham Mohamed, The Evening News.
With consultations currently ongoing on the proposed changes to the Representation of the People's Act, the Guyana government is currently finalizing a second set of amendments that would be released to the public soon. Here are the details from Rupa Sinarain.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandlal during this week's edition of his program Issues in the News explained that these new reforms are proposed changes to the Representation of the People's Act.
The second set of reforms or proposed reforms relating to the Registration Act shall be made public within a matter of days, as the work have been essentially completed in draft form. That will also be sent out using a similar mechanism, sent out publicly and inviting public consultation and recommendation and views, and another physical engagement will be arranged with those who made submissions.
This announcement was made just one day after the Attorney General had met with stakeholders who made submissions on the proposed amendments to the Act, which were released to the public last November, and persons were invited to give feedback. Submissions were received from several persons, groups, and organizations, including at least one political party and the Guyana Elections Commission. Those who made submissions were invited to an engagement with the Legal Affairs Minister on Monday, but only representatives from two of those entities, the Private Sector Commission and the Electoral Reform Group, showed up.
We went through their respective recommendations and thoroughly interrogated them and examined them. I also took the opportunity of explaining the nature and purport of the proposed amendments, the rationale for the amendments, and how the amendments will impact positively upon strengthening the electoral machinery.
According to Nandlal, he pointed out to the stakeholders that these proposed amendments are specific to statutory reforms, while other issues such as changing the country's political system and restructuring GCOM, which were among the recommendations made by the stakeholders, will have to be done through the constitutional reform process that is slated to commence shortly.
Coming up, Region 6 COVID-19 Task Force to resume meeting as cases rise, and breadwinner of family battles brain cancer. Do stay with us, more news ahead.
Plans are moving forward for the establishment of the landmark gas-to-energy project. Gas will be piped from the Stabroek block operations to shore. The project is expected to cut electricity rates by more than half and deliver significant benefits to Guyanese.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rijnveld.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Enjoy the thrill of internet shopping with Airpost. Simply log on to www.airpost.com. Sign up, shop online, and we'll deliver right into your hands. Airpost has partnered with all the major online stores to give you an unlimited range of shopping options straight from our website. And our 24-hour online service will walk you through any challenges. It's simple, it's fast, and it's fun. You don't need a credit card to shop. Visit any of our offices or call our attendants. We'll help you through the process. Airpost. You shop, we ship, we deliver.
They bright on the outside. Devon creams, many ways to smile, smile. You say, I say, we say. Have your full day. So rich, so creamy. Have your full day. Devon creams, have your fill today.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other.
Get in the game, get in the game, get in the game with Buster, play.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, Xbox X Series. Just purchase any bottle of Buster, Turbo, Altitude, Classic, or Viva and look for the code on the bottle. Then visit Buster Instagram and Facebook at Buster Guyana for more details.
The government of Guyana, in collaboration with CARICOM, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. A 25-year-old rice farmer of Quakers Hall, MAHAICONY, East Coast Demerara, is now dead following a 3-vehicle collision which occurred this morning along the Bushy Park Public Road at MAHAICONY. Dead is Nareshwar Arjun, also known as Ryan, who is also a welder. Arjun was driving motor vehicle PCC 5219, which was proceeding east along the road in front of motor Jeep PJJ 8723, which was driven by a 19-year-old. Police have said the motor Jeep collided with the rear of the motorcar, causing Arjun to lose control of his vehicle, and it crashed into motorcar HD 2859, which was proceeding in the opposite direction. As a result of the collision, the driver of motorcar HD 2859, his reputed wife, and Arjun received injuries about their bodies. They were all transported to the MAHAICONY Cottage Hospital, where Arjun was pronounced dead on arrival. The other driver and his reputed wife are both in an unconscious state, receiving medical attention at the MAHAICONY Cottage Hospital. The 19-year-old driver of the Jeep has since been taken into custody to assist with the investigation. The Guyana Fire Service of B Division, which covers the entire Region 6 and the eastern half of Region 5, has noted an increase in the number of prank calls being received. In this Andrew Carmichael report, the department is calling for an end to these prank calls, warning that there are legal consequences for persons found guilty of engaging in such acts.
Fire service, where is the fire home?
That's right, man.
Attention all radios. Report of a house on fire at number 1 village, currently in BERBICE. Water tender 72 from Rosal Fire Station will responding under the command of Section 8 Smart.
Calling the Guyana Fire Service and making false call, it's an offense by law under the Fire Service Act. Once you found, you can be put before the placed before the court and charged for such an offense.
So far for the year, there have been 28 malicious calls made to fire stations in the BERBICE area. 10 were to the Unfawak fire station. This, McDonald says, has put the responding officers at the risk as they have to travel on the road, which has more traffic than ever before, and also cause inconvenience to other road users.
The dangerous thing of making calls to the Guyana Fire Service that is false is that whenever we receive a call, there's a rule of thumb that we'll have to respond. If we in doubt, we'll have to turn out. So whenever you made that false report to the Guyana Fire Service and we responded, taking for example for Anvowak, we responded to the Blairmont area with the entire Region 5, which is up to the eastern side of the Abari Bridge. The entire area left open with no fire coverage, no response. So if there is a fire within the Bush Lot Bar area, the next available appliance will have to come from New Amsterdam or Mahaica.
There was a total of 117 calls made to the division so far this year. 67 of the calls were where the firefighters had to go into action. Of 19 of the calls made, the fire was extinguished before the fire service arrived on the scene. There were also 2 calls that were considered as late since they were not made at the time of the fire, but days later. There was also 1 false alarm with intent call.
Meaning an FAGI is a false alarm with intent, meaning that we get a call of an emergency, but when we arrived there, it was an intent, something that can be result as a result of a fire. So that we classify that as a FAGI. So that was 1. So that gives you a total of 117 calls thus far in the division.
Persons who make false, malicious calls to the fire service could be placed before the court for doing so. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The COVID-19 Task Force of Region 6 is set to resume meeting from next week amid an apparent surge in active cases following weeks of low infection rates. Our BERBICE correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us again with this report.
After several weeks of recording little or no new COVID infections in Region 6, the region is now seeing a sudden surge in active cases, a situation that is prevailing countrywide. The regional COVID-19 task force has stopped meeting regularly amid a slowdown in infections, but with 59 current active cases in Region 6, this will have to change. Countrywide, active cases stand at just over 200.
And so between we and Region 4, we account for about 92% of all cases in the country.
While no deaths have been recorded in the region recently, there are 4 persons in the intensive care unit suffering from COVID-19 symptoms. This follows a period where the infectious disease unit did not have seriously ill persons.
So it is not that all is well, and it's not that we should relax our measures. The thing is, yes, government has relaxed some of the measures for obvious reasons, because at that time the situation had abated somewhat, and we used to get there 2 to 5 cases per day. But as the minister explained at his last press briefing, the numbers are beginning to increase again. And so we need to wear our mask in public and to do our sanitizing, make sure that we are sanitizing, and to make sure that we keep our social distance and so on. Because it's important, from the numbers we are seeing, based on what the minister is saying, he's expecting this number to go up.
While not giving a breakdown, Regional Chairman David Armagon pointed out that there is a high number of active cases in the Cumberland East Kanji area. Armagon says there is a need to be proper coordination as to what happens in the region as it relates to COVID-19.
Try to meet back again from next week, the COVID-19 task force from the region. We'll try and meet back again from next week to make sure that we can coordinate back these activities. And we have so far 87% first vaccine.
As it relates to those who have taken their second jabs, it is 69% of the region's adult population. About 30% have received a booster shot, while 59% of the adolescent population have received at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
It's not all rosy, it's not all, especially now that children are going back to school, and only 59% coverage you have, which is pretty low. And then that's the first dose. The second dose is much, much less than that. Right, so I think parents need to encourage their children to take the shots. Now the booster shots are available. Right, you can go to any one of these centers that we have operating, and you can get your booster shot.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
The Guyana National Bureau of Standards and CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality on Thursday held a media sensitization program to provide clarity and to establish the importance of quality infrastructure. During the program, the GNBS highlighted that it is aiming to become the country's lead organization in terms of quality and standard across the country by providing quality infrastructure services. Amar Prasad has the details.
Head of Corporate Communications at the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, Lloyd David, has explained that in order to accomplish this goal of becoming the country's lead organization in terms of quality and standards, the organization must partner with all sectors in Guyana.
We have a vision, and it's to be the premier national institution for standards and quality in Guyana. We must be the best. We must lead in terms of when it comes to quality and standards in Guyana. Our mission is to develop and implement a national quality infrastructure. As you can see it up here, we want to develop a quality infrastructure framework in partnership with key sectors. So all the sectors we need to partner with. We cannot do it by ourselves. We need to partner with those in tourism, those in agriculture, those even in the transportation industry, airline. We want to, wherever there's a sector, we want to work to ensure that You know, our services are there. And why we want to do this? Because we want to have socio-economic development and obviously to protect the consumer.
Technical Officer at the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, Latoya Burnham, pointed out that quality infrastructure basically stands on 5 pillars to form a system that works to the best quality in products.
Quality infrastructure, what is it? It is a lot. It is all of these areas, what we call the 5 pillars of quality, working together to create a system that works, that functions, that's effective and efficient. It's standardization, it's metrology, not to be confused with meteorology. Metrology is the science of weights and measurements. We're talking about accreditation, and in Guyana, I mean, you guys do so much of it, I'm sure you're sick of hearing the word. There's conformity assessment. Conformity assessment covers the testing, inspection, and certification services. And finally, there's quality promotions.
Burnham lauded the actions taken so far by CGNBS in the aspect of their QI services provided to Guyana, which is recognized throughout the region. Meanwhile, David said that CGNBS, which is an ISO 9001 certified organization, provides core services such as standard development, certification, collaboration and testing, verification, product inspection, along with training and consultancy, among other services. The GNBS, in the direction of QI services, had recently launched the Made in Guyana certification mark, which not only indicates the product is made in Guyana, but is meeting the necessary quality and standards. According to David, the Made in Guyana certification mark will see more companies joining the 3 companies who have already been certified to use the mark in coming weeks. For the evening news, Amar Prasad.
The evening news' Shane Marks has interviewed the wife of Sunil France, a 31-year-old former fisherman who stands in a loophole of uncertainty after he was diagnosed with brain cancer in November of last year. In this report, we hear of the struggles of the family of 2 as their sole breadwinner battles for his life.
It's been 7 months since Sunil France, a 31-year-old former fisherman, was diagnosed with brain cancer. Tricia France, the wife of the cancer combatant, tells her husband's story.
He has been diagnosed in November of last year, and they would have diagnosed him with a brain cancer mass. So it's a mass in the brain, and it's cancerous. He usually works out at sea, so he was not feeling well. He was experiencing weakness and severe headache. So I asked him to come home. I took him to a private hospital, and then I took him to GPHC. When we first get to GPHC, they say that it looked like a stroke, but then after we did a CT scan, we saw the mass, and then they recommend the MRI. So I took him to Mercy Hospital and get the MRI done, and that's when Dr. Duki and his team went through the results, and that's how they came up with the diagnosis.
Tricia said when she found out the nature of her husband of 9 years' condition, she was shocked, but her surprise quickly faded to the sidelines as she began thinking of the next step forward to help her husband through this dark stage of his life. Sunil is a sole breadwinner for the family of 2, and it has been hard for Tricia to maintain the bills and all the expenses on her own.
Well, my husband, he was a sole breadwinner. With him not working, things have been extremely difficult because the bills still keep coming. For this past 2 weeks, it's now become more extreme because he has to use more Pampers because he's just lying in bed. I only discharged him from hospital like 2 days now. He's using feed and tube, which recommend I have to give him like stoppage in and these blended stuff that is very smooth. So it has been hard.
Sunil asked to undergo a stereotactic brain biopsy, which is a surgical procedure where a thin needle is inserted into the brain by a neurosurgeon to extract a small piece of tissue to examine under a microscope. This surgical procedure is not offered in Guyana. The surgery costs US $48,100, which is approximately $10,003,008 $802 Guyana dollars. The Health Ministry has already assisted in paying $1 million of the cost, but much more is needed.
I would like for the public to help me to raise the money that I can carry him for the surgery, that he can be able to live, because he's so young. And in the meantime, you know, if there can be assistance also to help me, like with Pampers and stuff to feed him, I would so much appreciate that.
Sunil's state has been deteriorating as the days go by. With every second that passes, he is getting worse. Persons wishing to help save Sunil's life can contact his wife, who is standing by his side, at 592-683-5351. Shane Marks, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Damrara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, May 13 at 1 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Friday, May 13 at 14 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours.
KFC pumps $2 million into GMMA as they prepare for IMMAF championships and 10 teams to contest EDFA League. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MACORP, coming up on the other side of the break.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the two most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
The Government of Guyana, in collaboration with CARICOM, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri-Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
Try our virtual sports and win big with so much matches to choose from. Betting starts at $100. Play for your chance to win. Log on to www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents to place your bets. Terms and conditions apply. Have fun and play responsibly. Must be 18 and over to play.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Dutz engines. Dutz engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Dutz engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvie's Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.